Cue up that baby.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Video Supply Show. We have on Dallin. I'm Dallin, and Mr. Josh Crandall. What's up, Josh?
How's it going? How you doing, Dylan?
Good. So we are going to talk about video marketing made simple. A simple three-step plan you can follow to easily create videos that actually work to grow your business and remove all of that stress and overwhelm and fear that many of us have with showing up on video. Speaking of which, right now we're literally going live on multiple platforms, right? We got an Instagram live going on. We have a YouTube. This will be repurposed. And so it's live. You know, those mess ups, those fears, hopefully we can eliminate them and you can forgive us. But really, when it comes to creating simple videos, the biggest thing we got to recognize, and I'll speak from personal experience, is that it's a mindset game. We are our biggest critics always, and that the biggest fear we have is the fear of judgment, of what others will think, of what we'll think of ourselves. Even yesterday, I delayed filming a video because I had a zit forming in on my face, right? And I'm just gonna say it, it's reality. We have that stuff happen, but we need to push forward and publish messages regardless. And so, what we're going to talk about today is three simple things you can focus on to simplify your video creation and marketing. So, Josh, what's the first thing to focus on when it comes to creating videos?
Well, typically we follow a kind of a wow. What's the word I'm looking for, Dylan? We follow a layout kind of thing. It's okay. All right. So we got this guide, and you can go actually download this on videosupply.com. I'll be speaking to, um, and uh,
It's
and
called
in
Video
there it
Supply
talks about
Scripts, by the way.
yeah. Sorry, yeah. So if you yeah, video supply scripts. So in this, we talk about how successful videos, they don't happen by accident, right? You need a plan. You need to plan it all out. So, um, and we have the three P's in order to do that: your purpose, people, and then platform. And as long as you're outlining these things, it should lend for a successful video, or at least you're making the skeleton for one. The purpose is obviously what results do you want your videos to create for your business. The people is you have to be able to identify your audience, right? So who are they? Who's the primary focus here that you're gonna be talking to? And then the platform, that's for your distribution, and that's if you don't overlook these things and you plan for them and plan towards them, you can have successful videos. It's a tried and true process, and whether your purpose evolves or the people you're talking to evolve or the platform evolve, as long as you are outlining those before you start your video creation process, you can always plan for having a successful video. So really, uh, I think it's about identifying those three things at first. And it's a very simple guide. How many pages is this? It's only like about
It's only like 150 pages, so it's a
yeah,
super simple guide. No,
very
no, it's
very
how many pages? It's 27 pages, but we've broken it up for it to be very simple, right? We have pictures, so it's a picture book. We have double spaced lines, and it just walks you through simple step by step. So not only in this guide do we talk about these three P's, but we also break it apart to be like, here's how you outline videos, here's how you script them, here's how you do storyboard and create a mood board and other things that are essential to creating successful videos. Uh, but with the focus on these three P's, like Josh didn't talk about the bonus, which is like including cats or babies in your videos, which makes them be a
yeah.
little. No, that's like that. You can't plan for that. That's like all dependent on the people you're talking to. But what we want to do is we want to dig in a little bit deeper, right? So it's those three P's, digging it a little bit deeper into the purpose. So your video should always have a clear purpose. And to keep it simple, have one purpose. Don't have like 20 purposes to be like, I want the video to do this. I wanted to do this. I want to do this. No, you want it to serve one clear purpose. And that usually comes down to what action you want the viewer to take by the end of the video. Is it that you want them to go and visit your website? Is it to download something? Is it to share the video, to like it? Which can kind of be under the same purpose as far as engagement, right? You want more people to see the video. If you're coming from the nonprofit world or, the e-commerce world, right? There's different industries to consider, like different purposes to the video. So it could be strictly just get as many views as possible because we want to spread this cause and message, or I want to sell my products and services as much as possible. So getting clear on that and just asking yourself and literally writing it down right now is like, this next video I want to create, maybe it's in Instagram Live. What is the one result I want this video to create for my business, for it to be successful? And I would literally, write that down and making sure that you're clear on that one purpose. Well, Josh, what would you say if people have like more than one purpose? What kind of issues would that create for the person creating the video, but more so for the people watching the video?
Well, I think that, at least for yourself, I mean, I think it's hard enough if you've ever opened up your phone, right? You want to just do a simple Instagram message, and then you don't really have a plan or a destination in mind. You just have a lot of things you want to share or feelings that you want to share, whatever it is. You don't have that direction. It can get confusing, and so then you get lost, right? I think you can get lost very easily when you turn on a camera and stage fright comes about, and you lose everything in your head. But then also for the viewer, if they're not, if they don't have also have an end in mind, it can get very confusing for them. Like, okay, where's this leading? It feels kind of vague, and because of that, you're not seen as a leader, I guess, or that you really know what you're talking about. So it's very important to be clear on that message. You can think of it, kind of like writing an essay or something, or a speech. You say, hey, here's what I want to cover here in the first part, and then you can give them the content, right? And so it helps to avoid any confusion or vague feeling, or feeling like your audience feeling like they're lost, etc. As long as you have your purpose in mind, everything is geared toward that purpose, then you'll have a successful video.
Yeah, totally. Oh, and a big part of this, and this actually goes all throughout, whether you're scripting the video or doing it live and more impromptu, is knowing what the message is. And messaging is essential to any type of content you go to create, let alone video. And we have a framework called Story Supply that we use for our messaging. And it helps you simply yet powerfully know how to talk about what you do and why you do it. So that way you can attract the right people. And that's what the second P is for creating, having a simple way to create videos, and that's people. So knowing who you're talking to is important, because if you don't know who you're trying to help in your message, what you're trying to help them do, and what their pains, emotions are, right? We talked early on about the fear of judgment or the fear of getting on video. If you don't understand who you're trying to interact with, then the message won't work. You won't accomplish that purpose you have, and the people watching it may not want to stick around. And that could be a tricky thing, because, for example, now, we're going live, and sometimes the people who follow you aren't altogether the right audience for the message you may be sharing at that time. Right, some family and friends may be following you who won't necessarily buy your products and services or be a part of your movement, depending on the brand you have. And so that's okay. A message is meant to either attract or repel the right type of people who need to receive it. But understanding your customer is essential to being able to create a simple yet effective video for your business. Yeah. Any other thoughts to that as far as addressing the right kind of people in your video, Josh?
Well, I used to do a lot of freelance work, but this is literally the question that I ask them every single time. And it is, who's your audience right now? And if you're a business owner, who are your customers, right? So who is it that you're speaking to? And even asking that person, that question helps them to say, okay, wow, this is yeah, we're dialing this in. This is for them. It's not really for me, but you're speaking to them and carrying everything actionable towards them. And uh, so it's you know apart from the purpose, I would say your audience and the purpose are very equal to each other as identifying those things and planning towards success. So yeah, I mean the people, because of the people that you're speaking to aren't gonna click or watch or trust you, then why would they spend their time there on your platform, uh, which is also important, obviously. So
Yeah.
so speaking to the right people, you can attract them to your platform and keep them there. So there's that retention. Um, as you're speaking to them on your platform. And then obviously we're provided many platforms in this day and age, so many social media or information pages that you can speak to your audience in different ways, right? And these platforms are so well designed um, that they're for different things. Facebook is very different than Instagram, and the audience is very too, so much. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. YouTube is, I think, it's the second most popular search engine out there. So if you're not getting your information on YouTube, you need to be speaking to an audience there that I plan for my stuff to be, that's my main hub is YouTube. It's like, here's the raw stuff because people are going to come search for it. But then the repurposed stuff, or the more dialed in edits that I may be trying to attract somebody new, could be on Facebook or Instagram. Anyway, so these all play into each other, to bring these people to your platform, so you can have that retention, and then whatever algorithms even can hold them there with that retention and interest that you've created because you've outlined your purpose and then you've identified your audience. So
Totally. Totally. Yeah. I mean, it's really, and this is why it's important to plan for these three P's, even if it's a simple live video, to begin with that end in mind. And that's why the platform needs to be considered, because then where is the video going to end up, and how can we adjust that message. And there's a lot of repurposing power too, where we're going to take this live video, we're going to YouTube, Instagram, and we're going to repurpose it. We're going to chop up into smaller pieces and share it as mini clips. We're going to put it as a podcast, audio only experience. So that way we can distribute it in other forms, and then also share the message for, the different parts of the message to different types of people. But the cool thing about distribution and understanding the platform, it's not just strictly social media platforms, because you can list, apart from the main hubs of like YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, the list goes on, and the video capabilities are just expanding on those platforms for the public. But there's also platforms to consider for your videos, for them to be successful, based on, again, the people and the purpose. If your purpose is to deliver a message to your audience who are already paying for a product, maybe it's an online course or membership, then that type of video, so the purpose and the people and the platform are going to be different. The platform may be, say, Teachable, which is an online course platform where you can host videos. Teachable actually uses Wistia for their video hosting platform. Wistia is kind of like Vimeo, where they're not necessarily so public, as well as you can have more of a private way to distribute and share videos that way. And people are not searching the same way on those platforms to find videos as they are, say, on YouTube. But understanding that there are other purposes and people and platforms you can direct your videos to, depending on what purpose it's going to serve and who you're serving. So whether it's going to live on social media as an ad or a helpful live video like this, Or is it going to be on your website where you could embed it into a blog? You could embed it on your homepage if it's like a hero video about your business, or it's inside of a product that people have to pay to get access to. There are different platforms to consider, and that's why when you go to plan your videos, if you need to put a lot more intention into them, it's important to consider each of those P's to know who you're talking to, where it's going, and why it's being created. And yeah, go ahead, Josh.
I was going to say, yeah, no, it's the platform is so important to plan for, and that's for a number of reasons. I think about the entertainment business, or like how we, as individuals, we see a preview, a movie preview, and we're like, wow, I want to go watch that movie, right? And so you've been teased a little bit, and you go and see the movie. You're sitting down, and then the theater knows, or the entertainment business knows that you're a captive audience now. So you are coming to them, and you're going to sit down in the theater seat. You've paid to be there, and you're going to dedicate your time and energy to watch. Whereas maybe on Facebook or Instagram, you may need to plan for a quick hook, and then deliver the information, quickly or very accurately in order to retain that audience. And so when you're looking at a platform, you have to tailor your content to that platform, of course, based on your purpose, so that that retention is there. So like Dallin was saying, if you go to Teachable and you're taking a course, people have already bought the course. They're there. They're captive audience, and they're gonna watch. It may not be that way on Facebook. You're trying to attract somebody perhaps through an advertisement, and so maybe you only have a few seconds to share with them. And it's really interesting. I've been doing video for 10 plus years, and seen kind of a trend go from, like, for some reason everyone is saying, oh, you got to keep every single video 2 to 5 minutes. Like, you cannot go over 2 to 5 minutes. And then later, in these last couple of years, everything on YouTube is approaching 10 minutes. And you're saying, well, why is this? And it's because I think a lot of people, when they go to YouTube and then they search for something, they become a captive audience, right? They're interested. Now they're saying, okay, I want to see a video on how to make a table, or how I want to make a desk or something, right? So then they will sit there, and they will have the endurance to watch a 10-minute video because that's what they're interested in. And you can get away with that too. So, but maybe not so much on Instagram or Facebook. People typically go to those platforms to cruise or peruse, so they may not want to dedicate that time, depending on that platform that they are. So platform is it's a thing to plan for sure. And you can get away with a lot of different things in each platform. It's so crucial to plan for those things. So,
yeah, totally. And considering each platform too is so interesting, because the one platform, which is YouTube, that has more longevity to your strategy, should be a focus. And this is something we are doubling down on with our business, is putting more effort into YouTube, because if you're putting videos to Instagram or Facebook, as powerful as that is in the moment, that gets lost in the feed and forgotten about. But then YouTube kind of becomes your legacy content, where people can find videos done from years ago, as long as you keep it public and live. And they can find value with it, depending on the relevancy and the timeliness of that message. And so there's a lot of power in that. And one kind of capstone, I feel like, to these 3 Ps, especially because you should be making content for your customer. That's the power of a message done right, is a message about your customer and the viewer, or those who you're speaking to. If it's not about them and for them, then it won't work and won't be successful. And in considering that, some other questions to ask yourself is, by the end of this video, what do I want my viewer or audience to feel and do? Do I want them to feel confident that they can be successful with my product? Do I want them to go and buy my product, right? What action I want them to take? And that will kind of help guide the conversation and messages that you do share, because you can understand, how can I guide them? What stories do I need to share? And actually, like one story I do want to share real quick is, I was watching it in this video, and this guy was reviewing, I don't know if any of you have heard of Quibi. It's a startup that launched in 2020 and died in 2020. A lot of momentum was built up around it, And for some more context, so Quibi was this new innovative streaming platform to compete like with the Netflix and Disney Pluses of the world. And it was actually started by these big A-lister executives. Jeffrey Katzenberg is one of them. And if you don't know his name, you know his work, because he was executive producer of the animations like The Little Mermaid and Aladdin, back in the early 90s. And it was a huge part of like that era of popular Disney movies. And so here he is taking this years of experience and putting it to the streaming platform. So you think on paper that it would work, right? But what happened is I think they launched in like maybe April of 2020. And after about 6 months, they had to close down. And keep in mind, they had like $2 billion in funding from like all these top studios, but yet they failed. And a big part, I believe, is because they didn't focus on these 3 Ps: the people, the purpose, and the platform. They may have had the platform dialed in and people probably enjoyed aspects of that content, but one failure they had is, they gave this free trial, and then a majority of the people who took the free trial didn't stay on as paying customers. So they lost a lot of their subscriber base. They targeted the people. So the people they needed to target were like 15 to 35-year-olds, right? The younger generations, for these 10-minute short episodes in video content they put on their streaming platform. But then they were advertising on the Super Bowl, which, who watches the Super Bowl? I'm sure a lot of this younger generation probably watch it, but not, in the traditional sense, not watching these Super Bowl ads. And so they were using the wrong marketing distribution platform. They were addressing these messages to the wrong crowd of people. The Super Bowl is just a random mix of people. It's not targeted. It's not specialized. They're not focusing on like the curated platforms and influencers who could get that message out there the right way. And then their purpose, was to definitely engage in light. Even if they had great content, which I'm sure they did, they hired all these A-list actors. It was a failure of a startup because they failed to dial in and focus on and interact with particularly the right people. And so it does ultimately come back to people, making sure your message connects to the right people and that you distribute it correctly. It doesn't mean you can't test, right? There's plenty of testing and optimization you should be doing with your message and the people to start attracting them. But I just thought that was a really fascinating kind of case study to the failure to focus on these 3 Ps to make your videos successful. Particularly, they had the product in place, which, the product itself, I'm sure was amazing. I didn't really use it, but it was their messaging, positioning of how they're trying to get that message out there in their marketing efforts that didn't work and fell flat. And so our goal with Video Supply is to give you the tools to make sure your videos don't fall flat and that they work to grow your business. And so that's what we're all about, is giving you that video supply, giving you that content supply of resources, but then empowering you with the services and the tools to help you implement video supply inside your business. And so that's what we are. Josh is our creative director of our video advertising agency. I'm like a strategic advisor to it, and I help with a lot of the strategy work. But we're here to help you grow your business with the power of video. You can skyrocket that growth by implementing these 3 Ps and to do video marketing right. And so you can learn more and apply to work with us at videosupply.com. It's that simple. Josh, should we show them a quick little reel of some things we've done?
Yes, today's episode is, of course, brought to you by our sponsor, Video Supply.
Video Supply. That's simple.
Yeah, that's us.
So here's just some simple, we're showing this on the video version of this show, but here's just some simple examples of visuals we captured, some simple animations, captions, and ways to clearly communicate a message that actually gets viewers to watch all the way through and then take action. And so we've worked with a variety of different brands and clients to help them use the power of video to grow their business and impact their audience. And so that's what we're here to do with you. So if you are a brand owner who's ready to leverage video in a more powerful way, then apply to work with us. Go to videosupply.com. So thanks for watching. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, I was just gonna say,
Parting
and
words.
again, I'll point you to the website again. If you go to videosupply.com/resources, that's where you can find these guides that we've been speaking to. Very helpful, and I encourage you to go there. It's free. Download it and fill it out next time you're going to go do a video. It really breaks these three P's down, and then gives you more beneficial tools and such things that you're going to need to be able to plan for success when you're going to create your next video. And then you're going to feel confident in doing so. So you got this plan of action just waiting at your fingertips. So videosupply.com/resources.
Perfect. Hey, thanks for watching, everyone. Drop your questions down below, and look forward to sharing more value through this show. So thanks for tuning in on Video Supply.
Thanks, guys. Catch you later.